So our neighbor next door that rented the Airbnb, they were cool with it at the beginning. At the beginning they were cool with it. They're like, yeah, what's going on? And we're like, oh, it's a birthday party. We're just having some fun. You guys are welcome to join us. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. We're not gonna bother you guys. We're a little bit too old for this, but you guys have fun and everything like that. And they were cool with that. But I think the moment that I'm laughing because it's so unbelievable.
Okay, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome everybody to another episode of the BeeHole Podcast. I am your host, Lucas the Shroom, and today we have another very special guest here, and her name is
Yayoua.
Yayoua. We've been friends since middle school?
Middle school,
no,
7th grade.
7th grade, because that's where how do we meet again? I think I just saw you on Facebook, right?
Yeah, I think you gave me a To Be Honest post.
Oh yeah.
And then magic happened from there.
Yeah, magic. A good friendship happened from there. Well, how you been, man?
Well, there's a lot of things going on with my life right now.
Yeah.
A lot of crazy things, a lot of good things, bad things. But to be honest,
you want to put the mic closer to you?
To be honest, all I could really think about is a good life. It could be a lot worse, and it was a lot worse. But I'm just glad that it's toned down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we met since your middle school, my freshman high school, right? Because we were like, am I a year older than you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a year older than you. I think off of our teenage fucking bullshit. We just had to go do the Facebook posts and shit. We just kind of interacted and all that shit. And then now we're kind of still into that Facebook Hmong community and all that. I'm in and out because I'm still my own person. What about you? I think you've done like a few like Hmong pageants here and there.
Yeah, I think I started with a Hmong pageant when I was a senior in high school.
Holy shit.
And I was always in a Hmong club or at South because I went to South for 2 years and then I transferred to North for the next 2 years. And I was always involved with those Hmong clubs, but I never really got into it until like my senior year of high school. I was more into it, but I think it was because of the club that I was in. It was more like interactive, and we had a lot more events going on. But I did do a couple pageants. I did 3 in total in my lifetime. The first one I did was in Oshkosh, the Hmong National Labor Day Tournament, and I placed 3rd.
Hey.
And then the second one I did was in Milwaukee for Hmong Milwaukee New Year. I got 2nd.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It was a long process. That was like the most stressful one out of all of them. And then my 3rd one was the one in California, and it was so last minute. I only had a month to prepare, but I placed 4th in that competition overall. So
holy shit, yeah, wow. What's the whole process? Like, I know you have to speak like fluent Hmong though, right?
Well, I think it really just depends on which pageant you decide to go to, because there are some pageants that you don't have to be able to speak fluent Hmong, but they do have like certain rounds where you have to speak Hmong.
Oh yeah.
But the first pageant I went to, they were pretty lenient on you speaking Hmong or not. So they had like the introduction round was completely in Hmong. You couldn't speak like any other language for introduction round. But question round, they were pretty lenient on you. You could like answer in English or in Hmong, however you would like. But that's pretty much all the rounds that we spoke, because for our evening round we just walked. But as you can see now, like newer pageants, they would like you to speak about your platforms during that round. But for my platform round, the first pageant I ever did, we didn't speak. We just walked on the stage.
Really? Wow. Did you have to pay to get in? Like I said, I'm like I don't know how it goes. Obviously, like I can't join a pageant.
I mean, you can. I just don't know how you would do it.
No, definitely not. That's not a me thing. My mom tried to have me do this fashion show. I've done the fashion show for Moon New Year like a couple of times, but it was just so fucking awkward for me.
I think that was for me too. I did fashion show for a couple of years too, but I was such a shy kid. I was just like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah,
but
same.
I was like, whatever to please my parents
at
that time.
Yeah,
Right now I'm just like, I'll do whatever I want.
Yeah.
You do have to pay. Registration fee is like, it varies, but I've never had a registration fee lower than $50. Everything was always above. I think for the first one it was $50. The second one was $75, and then the third one was $100, based on just a bunch of contestants coming from all over the place.
Oh yeah.
But registration fee is pretty expensive. But if you know like how to get sponsors, how to reach out to people, and you have like connections, it's not that hard to get all that money.
Didn't you ask me to be a sponsor? No, that wasn't you. I thought
I did.
Oh yeah, you did actually. I think what did I take photos for you, or edited photos for you, and you were like, "Can you just be a sponsor?" I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I guess.
Yeah. So sponsors have like, for us as a contestant, we can choose how we want people to sponsor us, whether it's through photography,
Oh,
videography,
okay.
through financially,
Whatever they can to like supply you
Mhm.
with things, right?
Yeah, and I think you were probably the first person I asked to sponsor me
Hey, let's go.
because I was already in that mindset that I wanted to compete, and I was like, you know what, Lucas, I want you to take some photos for me. So at this point, might as well just sponsor me, right?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, because I've gotten asked recently to be a sponsor for actually my niece's dance team, and she was more asking for like a financial kind of sponsorship. Like I would have to like pay them $300, and then my name gets out there, which is nice and cool. But I don't know which brand to go to off of my graphic design brand or my this podcast brand, because if I go to my graphic design brand, I'm more known in the Hmong community. If I do this brand, it's kind of a little bit weird. Not a lot of Hmong people get on here, so it's just I don't know what to do. But I think I just kind of like low key kind of backed out because financially I'm investing into so many things. Like for one, this podcast, two, my clothing line, and then personal things too. But yeah, are you planning to do the pageant in the future?
Oh
Why not?
no.
Why not?
Maybe not with Hmong people, because I feel like within the pageant industry, when you place top 3 or you just compete in general,
Yeah.
and the Hmong community expects way too much from you, and it's
Want to put it
really
closer to you more?
it's really nerve-wracking
There you go.
and stressful when it comes to that kind of aspect, because you can't really be yourself. Like, you
Okay.
can, but you have to be aware of who's around you when you go out. Like, if I was to go out to the bars or whatever, obviously, like,
Oh.
there's like the younger kids around me, so they understand why I'm going to be there, like, because I'm of age, I'm living life.
Yeah.
But if I was to, like, let's say I run into like an older person that I know within our community, all of a sudden their aspects and their vision or thoughts of you just changes because you're in that kind of atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah.
But really, you're just there to have fun and enjoy the moment.
Oh,
Enjoy
yeah.
your time. But they're not gonna think that. They're gonna be like, "What the hell? You're like a role model in our community. What are you doing at these kinds of places?" But it's like, I can say the same to you. Why are you here?
Didn't we talk about that before?
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, because I remember that. I think we were just talking about it at some point in our conversations. We don't talk on a day-to-day basis, but it's we kind of have that friendship. Like if we see each other, it's like that bro and sister kind of genuine energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we just feel safe around each other and all that shit.
Talk about whatever the fuck.
Talk
we
about
want.
whatever the fuck we want, because we know a lot of people that if she brings up a name and I know them, and then we have all this dirt on spread about them.
It's just funny how like that connection starts, because we'd be like, you know what I mean, and like, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I felt something about that. Yeah. So are you you're more of a social media person too, right?
I'm really trying to get into it. A while back when I first started my pageant stuff, I was kind of blowing up on social media
Oh yeah,
because
yeah, I
it's
remember
like
that.
you're new to the pageant world, so everybody wants to get to know who you are. But afterwards, it kind of died down because after passing down my titles and everything like that, and just doing my own thing, it just kind of like
Passing
died.
down your titles?
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
because you have to pass down the fucking ribbon or something?
yeah, you
Oh,
give it to the next person
Okay.
for the next year, and then it just dies down and it comes back up. And like right now, I'm trying to like be into social media again, but not as like a pageant person, just more of myself and like voice my opinions on what I think about certain situations.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot better than being like, oh,
Trying to be somebody else or
yeah,
somebody
exactly.
you're not. Yeah, I know what
Exactly.
you mean. Because I kind of thought that for myself, I was that same way too. That I want to portray as a person on the internet, because I felt like being built in some certain way, seeing some people doing it their certain way, I can read that and I can try to do that myself. But the more I get into it, the more like I said it on the previous podcast before, but the more humanity I start to lose, and to start to like not believe in myself. So like lately I've been really like not designing, because the whole business aspect kind of just ruined my passion for it. So I haven't really been designing a lot. But the most of the time I've been having fun designing on this podcast and all that other shit, and some side stuff too. Like I still work with the people I work with design wise, and yeah, I saw you fucking popping off though too. Did you? So is that the reason why you changed your actual like Facebook name to your what is it, your Hmong name? Like,
yeah, because I still wanted to be able to share things in the media so that they could see what was going on in my life. But then I didn't want necessarily like people to be adding me to see like personal things that
Okay.
are more like for family and just friends. So I did change my Facebook to like a public
Oh
figure
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of page.
I think I did that too, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's easier for like my not necessarily my fans, but like those people that like just kind of like to follow up on my life can see what I'm doing, but
Yeah.
not necessarily peek on my personal life.
Because it is a professional aspect of it,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And because you're more of like a social media influencer at this point because of your whole pageantry and then the way that the eyes see you and all that stuff too.
Mm.
Have you seen yourself on those fucking Facebook page of most beautiful Hmong women?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't follow those pages.
Okay, yeah, because I see that shit going around because motherfuckers be sharing it. And then one of my homegirl models, you know Anna Her,
Mm-hmm.
she's from Minnesota. She recently just got a Target out photo
Oh
shoot.
yeah,
Yeah,
I saw that.
I didn't go out and seek where she was on the fucking Target product or
Mm-hmm.
anything, but I know that there was she was sharing like a page that's only posting photos of quote unquote beautiful Hmong girls and all that shit too. And I thought that was kind of weird, but I'm like, I guess to kind of show people whatever the fuck that we
I
have.
feel like that page is kind of opinionated
Hmm.
because there are a lot of beautiful Hmong girls out there,
Hmm.
and I think I did come across that page once, and there's usually like the same girls on that
Yeah.
post. Which no hate towards them, they're all very pretty and very beautiful in their own ways. But to me, I feel like it just kind of gives like the younger generation a different perspective of
Hmm.
what they should be looking like, and not everybody can look the same, you
Mm.
know. So
Yeah, I also feel like it might just influence the younger generation to kind of push themselves to be on that page. Like, oh, I can get all these likes, I can get all these attention if I'm pretty enough to be on that page. And once I'm on that page, I get whatever I want.
and another thing I noticed is that like a lot of the photos that are posted on there are girls in like in bikinis,
Hmm.
and I feel like that's just not a way to show how beautiful a person is. I
Yeah.
don't think that based on what they're wearing should be like, oh, she's pretty because she's wearing a bikini.
Hmm.
No, I feel like you can still be beautiful with clothes on.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's just, I, I don't know who the fuck owns that page. I bet you it's a fucking a random guy on the internet just fucking reposting, female photos and shit. Maybe even without their, definitely without their consent. But even then, it's like, I guess it's exposure, so nobody really like complains
Yeah,
about it.
exactly.
But yeah, I think that's shit's really scummy. But how deep are you into like the Hmong community and the Hmong music? Because I've been asked to do a topic on Hmong music, but I can't do Hmong music with people that are not Hmong. So like I gotta ask you.
I think I was really into it when I was younger, but that's because like my like music exploring or whatever was really broad.
Uh-huh.
I felt like at that time I kind of stuck to what I knew because everybody that was like the trend then,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And I feel like I still am still connected to my music now, my own Hmong roots in music. But the thing is that like it takes a while for artists to bring out music, and when they do, I feel like sometimes it's kind of the same vibe,
yeah. Hmm.
which I don't hate it, but and I do like it, and for me it's just hard to like vibe to the same kind of song all the
Yeah.
time. But I do still listen to Hmong music here and there. I just I don't know how to explain it, but I do listen to Hmong music, and when people tell me like, "Oh, do you know this artist? You know that artist?" And like I'm pretty up to date about all the new artists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not like completely casted myself out
Yeah,
from
yeah,
it,
yeah.
but I still do listen to it.
Yeah, here and there. It's not like an everyday thing. Like I don't think anybody goes around the world listening to Hmong music every day. You know,
You'd be surprised.
I would be actually, because like Hmong restaurants, they just have a playlist just strictly off of Hmong artists too, which is cool.
Mm.
But like, there's such a more like bigger platform with everything else. But I guess it's just the way that they support people.
Yeah.
Like if like in the Hmong community, for example, Kid Swami, like he doesn't directly make Hmong music, but he's a Hmong artist. So there's a lot of people that don't support him and a lot of people that do. So it's kind of that newer generation that's more supporting him instead of that older generation, but they also love him for doing what he does. And then that same thing goes with Corsu. Corsu is in that same bracket as well.
Mm.
But not to like throw shade or just shit on him, because this is just genuinely my opinion, and I'm just a voice on the internet. I feel like some Hmong artists that go strictly off of rapping kind of falls into the trend of if you're Hmong, you gotta, represent and speak Hmong as much as you can, and then you'll get the fans. And I feel like that goes around into the industry and kind of ruins it a little bit, because it's like at this point, Hmong people are building industry plans. You know what I'm saying? Like a song can be super good and they have high expectations off of somebody over a few songs, but most of the time they can't keep up with it because they want to adventure out into new things in the music genre. Like for example, you know a guy named Agony Love, Anthony Tao.
Sounds super familiar. I feel like I know who you're talking about, but like my mind's just kind of like blank.
Exactly my point. So I invested in this guy because I think he's a very versatile rapper, and he's more of like a, not strictly emotional, but he's more of like he's a cool lyricist. I like the way he like has good flows, and his music is pretty good. I listen to it here and there, and I show some support for him too. But I remember one time he was venting out that he wasn't getting as much love from the Hmong community, and how the Hmong community didn't invest into him while he's putting in the work to even show out, compared to the other Hmong artists in the community too. He was complaining about that, and this one Hmong artist that pisses me off. I just don't fucking like this guy because I think he's a fucking creep. His name rhymes with tragic. Tragic dang.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to censor a little bit of that, but I think I find him super fucking annoying because like I look on his Facebook page. I mean, I don't know, dude. I'm just going off of what he posts and what I see off the internet. That's just how everybody is. But going off of what I see on his Facebook page, I feel like he really falls into that, and he's like easily influential.
Yeah.
So, for example, looking at him, he doesn't look like he makes Hmong music. He looks like he tried to come off from the hood or claim that he looked like it. Not saying that he is or claims it, but he just looks like that guy. He wears a flat brim hat, more like the Hmong gangster type of look, type shit. But then I see him posting on Facebook as if he wants his personal life onto Facebook, that way people can sympathize with him, so he gets more attention, which I don't like because one, I used to do that, but two, it's just he's also a grown adult.
Exactly.
Because he and the guy is weird too, the way that like I being friends with so many people, and a lot of them are like females. I used to be friends with them back when we were in high school, right? And then some of them didn't really graduate high school, but it's not my term to go message them. Is blah, blah, blah. I don't spark conversations because that's weird. I'm 23. If I message like a 17-year-old, if depending on like the relationship, if it's just random talk, then it's weird, right? But this dude goes under like somebody that's close to 18 or maybe even underage for drinking. I'll buy a shot for you whenever you come out. It's just like, bro, she's not even of age yet or even close. And I had this weird ick about the guy. But anyways, he commented under Anthony Tao's or Agony Love's Facebook post saying, hey, man, you just got to manifest. You got to grind the work. And I'm like, I see that. I appreciate the knowledge that you have. But he keeps going at it. Agony Love just replies back like, hey, man, like, I know what you're trying to say, but you cannot tell me that the Hmong community, Hmong community don't make people. Like, they have industry plants here. I put more, as much or more work than some of the Hmong artists around here, and I don't get as much love, and I think that's kind of bullshit. Which, there's faults on both sides, You're complaining a little bit too much, and you got to manifest that time, which is Tragic's point. But you can't ignore the pain that he's going through and the appreciation that he wants to supply to the Hmong community. But if it's not giving it back, then what's the point, But he just kept going back and forth to where Tragic was more ignorant, saying that like, man, you just got to do with your own things, blah, blah, blah. You can't keep treating us like, we're nothing. And he kept denying about the Hmong industry plants bullshit. Because honestly, I think he's a Hmong industry plant. Because he didn't really pop off until connections within the Hmong community. And then he has that big his friend, that's one of the bigger artists in the Hmong community, started working for him and then started doing features with him, all for that brotherhood too.
Well,
You know?
that's usually how it is, though.
Yeah.
Like if you're just doing your own thing, not a lot of people are gonna give a fuck.
Yeah.
But if you like start branching out to like the bigger artists and like do collabs with them, whether you want to or not, even if you don't like them too, people are gonna be like, "Oh, well, you're performing with a popular Hmong artist, so now I'm gonna start listening to your music." But to me, I'm not gonna lie, Hmong community, they're not the most supportive group
No.
out there. I feel like they say like they support their own kind, but if you really think about it, it takes a lot for them to even look your way.
Yeah. I mean, that goes, in the way of the pageantry and then everything else, Let's like bring an example, Sunis Ali, the Olympic gold medalist. What is she?
A gymnast.
A gymnast. Yes, yes, gymnast. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. But I mean, she represented the Hmong community, but the OGs didn't really respect that or like that because, okay, so she posted a picture with her Black American boyfriend, and the whole like community was fucking berating her, saying it was disrespectful, disgraceful, or don't represent us and all that shit. Which she's trying to live her life, but then this Hmong community keeps dragging her back. Like, what makes her want to go back and all that too? And I believe that's also like a controversial theory on how Brenda's song. I think I've heard stories that she's Hmong too, right?
Yes, she
And
is.
how she doesn't want to really relate to us or kind of bring it back to us because we're so toxic and all that shit.
I mean, there are a lot of Hmong artists or Hmong actors that are in the American industry. Very, very popular, very,
Uh-huh.
very outgoing. Like I think he's a stylist. His name is Joey Tao.
Okay.
And at first I didn't realize that he was Hmong, but when I really um looked more into it and went onto his page because I like his work, I realized that he is Hmong. But people are like saying that, oh, we don't like him because he's gay.
Oh.
And I just feel like that's something that Hmong people are so scared of. Like, I feel like we live in a country where there are other races
Yeah.
and other sexuality preferences, and we don't have to necessarily like it or enjoy it, but we
Yeah.
don't need to say things out loud. Like, just keep it to yourself.
Which is like one of the funniest things about the Hmong people is that they're so scared of how they would look, but they're not afraid to tell other people how they look.
Exactly.
And honestly, most of the time, like face to face, they don't really give a fuck.
Dude, trust me, I had random people come up to me. I don't even know them, and they telling me things, and I'm like,
Yeah. I've had a lot of OGs come up to me, like they're like older and a little bit bigger than me, like, hey, you got fat. I'm like, look at you.
that is what I am saying. The Hmong community is so quick to judge you, but they don't even care about how they look, and it's irritating.
Yeah, and that too, like I've noticed this too, working with the people that I work with. A lot of them are white, or out of not Hmong people. They ask me about certain things in the Hmong culture, and the more I open to what are answering, what their questions are, like for example, the funerals and how it would go, they always feel like I'm offended, or they always have to be walking around eggshells around me, But then there was like, I talked to this one Hmong guy, but he didn't really want to open up to me. I felt like he was kind of scared to show me. I'm like, yeah, that's just kind of how it is. Us Hmong people, maybe even around Asian people, because we're so like, we don't want our business out there. We just don't want to seem weird to you. Like, we butcher pigs and like eat their blood. I say eat their blood because we solidify the blood and then we make it into a soup. But we eat their blood, and honestly, that sounds more barbaric to a normal person, right? But for us, it's normal. It's like, oh, I see that like every other Friday, Saturday,
I mean, we grew up doing that, so of course it doesn't seem like crazy to us.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, if you go out to other people and then like they say those kinds of things to them, they're gonna be like, "What in the world are you guys doing?"
Exactly. So that's my point of like, there were the people that I were the white people that I was working with, they were confused on how open I was with it, as they've asked people before and they weren't really open with it, and it's that fear of like people judging us too, and everybody has that fear, but it's kind of ironic how the Hmong people are too afraid of how people will see them, so they have to build this perfect picture when in reality they know nobody should give a fuck.
Yeah, a reputation is a big part in the Hmong community. They care too much about their reputation. It's like, don't do this, don't do that. If it comes back and affects my reputation, don't do it. And it's kind of hard. That's why like nowadays kids, like the younger generation, like you said, are walking on eggshells because they have to always think, oh, if I go do this, what are my parents going to think? What are
Yeah.
other people going to think of me and my parents or my family in general? Because it's not like most people target one person only; they target the entire family.
Yeah. Definitely. That's what fucking hurts, dude. But I'm not just saying this just because like I don't want people representing Hmong people. I'm just saying that like the more work you put into like not be yourself to try to please somebody else can kind of just damage you. And it's just kind of good to kind of know what you're um surrounded by. Are you surrounded by people that support you because you're Hmong, or are you surrounded by people that support you because they actually care about you? Those are two different things.
Yeah.
I'd rather have people around me that support me for my things, but most of the time they don't. So, but still, it's like it's nothing bad. It's just people have their own lives.
The important part that everybody always talks about, whether Hmong or non-Hmong people, like just do the things that makes you happy.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people say like, oh, happiness is not gonna make my parents love me or care for me. Happiness is gonna make you feel so much better.
Yeah.
Eventually your parents are gonna realize how much they love you. They'll turn around, they'll come back around or anything like that. But if you spend your life doing the things you hate, you're just gonna be forever miserable.
Yeah, exactly. And like my mom said to me before, man, like it's just I can build you into whoever I want you to be, but at the end of the day I'm gonna leave someday, and you have to live up with the consequences that I gave you, and I don't want that pressure on you. From the day you were born to 18, I have to kind of guide you into a road that I want you to be on. But after 18, you're literally by yourself. Don't consider me being in your life anymore. I mean, I am your mother or your father and all that shit too. But get that mindset to be like, don't forget where you're from, and it's all on you now. But anyways, we're gonna take our first break, and we'll be back shortly. This podcast is sponsored by NuNu's NickNacks. Knick-knack, paddywhack, buy some things for your sack. And when I say sack, I mean sack full of the good stuff. And when I say good stuff, I mean your belongings. And when I say belongings, forget it. You know what I'm trying to say. Ladies and gentlemen that listen to this podcast and hearing my beautiful voice, do you have an eye for an aesthetically pleasing ornament? Wanting to add some amazing handcrafted decorations onto your keychains or onto your table? Then look no further than to order from NuNu's NickNacks. They specialize in custom handmade resin craft that will transform your space into a work of art. NuNu's NickNacks is a resin shop that just recently opened and would love to supply you with some custom resin items to fit your aesthetic needs. From vibing coasters to stunning jewelry, NuNu's NickNacks has something for everyone. Don't settle for average, let them bring a touch of magic to your home. Look guys, I recently just bought a custom lettered keychain and it's never going to leave my side. It's so aesthetically pleasing to see and it gives me good energy. You can feel that too by heading to their Instagram page, NuNu's NickNacks. That's NUNUS_NICKNACKS, or visit the links below. Again, that's NUNUS_NICKNACKS, or visit the links below. Never lack on a knick-knack this shop attract and purchase a custom resin item today. And we're back. Sorry about only recording like half of that session. I chose to use a different camera and it only recorded 12 minutes. I am so like unprepared because I didn't want to spend money on getting a camcorder because I'm like, I have 2 photography cameras. I might as well just fucking use these 2. Okay. But then now I understand, But fuck, I mean, that's the one thing I hate about this fucking setup. But I just gotta ride with the punches and all that. So what's your current living situation right now?
I still live with my parents.
Yeah.
But life is very, very hard with them. Yeah. I live kind of like a secretive life. I guess you could say I have like 2 lives or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But it's kind of hard because unlike other parents, they still live in that kind of mindset of the older generation. So they're not really modern. They try to adapt to it, but they don't enjoy it. So it's kind of hard for them to just kind of understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
But yeah, for now I'm living with my parents, but I plan on moving out soon.
Yeah, moving out, still in town, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving out, still living in town.
Yeah. So, remember the last podcast we were talking? I was with Max. I don't know if you know who Max is.
Which Max?
Her.
Yeah. I know.
Okay. I was talking with Max and we met at Pacifico. She was actually there at both nights or both um events at that one bar because of the performances, Ranchitos, yes. And then Pacifico. So at Ranchitos, what'd you think about Ranchitos?
Well, I think that the artists, a lot of them I've already seen before, and I enjoy all their music. I like all their music. I like the new artists that are coming up too. I listened to Tux, one of his She Ho song. I listened to it before he even performed it or like uploaded the music. He gave me a brief like listen to the song, and I'm very honored. But I love their music. It's a really nice vibe. It's cool to jam to. The music beforehand by the DJs were really nice too, really good. Not necessarily my vibe some songs, but it wasn't hard to vibe to because I enjoyed the atmosphere. There was good people around, and it was fun.
Yeah, you were out there on the floor fucking dancing, dog. More so just bopping your head and shit.
Yeah. I was just trying to enjoy myself. Yeah. It was been a long time since I've been out. So
yeah. I barely go out too, and I mean, you kind of saw how I can be when I'm drunk over at fucking Pacifico. I wasn't even that drunk though. I was buzzed. But
really, I didn't really even notice.
Thank God. See, I'm good at keeping it OG anyways.
You seem fine to me. Like you were talking to everybody and you were all like cool and stuff like that. So I didn't even. Yeah. If you never told me, I would have never knew.
I was a little bit tipsy. I just had it down like fucking 6 beers and then like 2 shots.
Well, that's what happens when you meet old friends.
Old friends and like don't drink a lot. So, but yeah, I mean. We never had a moment to where we got drunk with each other at all, though. I've never seen you drunk, and you've never seen me drunk. But I mean,
you don't want to see me drunk.
How are you when you're drunk?
I think okay. So speaking off of my last experience, which was like a year ago already, almost a year ago, traumatized. But it was my 21st. I threw my first birthday party ever. I invited you guys, but I think you guys were busy that day or something, so you guys didn't come. But we started drinking like at 11 in the morning. And I remember taking my first shot so confident, like, yeah, I'm gonna make it through the night. And it was like 10 p.m. and I blacked out. Half the people that showed up afterwards, I didn't even realize they were there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they texted me the next day like, bro, that party was so cool. And I'm like, you were there? I'm like, yeah, you were talking to me when you were going to the bathroom. And I was like, what the fuck? I don't remember seeing you. I don't remember seeing half the people. So much stuff happened that night. I don't even remember. I don't know. Have I told you the story?
I don't think so.
On my 21st, bro, it was such a crazy night. Like, obviously we rented an Airbnb.
Yeah.
And so much stuff happened. It was a big party. The house was small, but like it wasn't like really cold outside, so we were able to open the garage where there was like people in the living room, in the garage, and kind of on the drive-through. So it wasn't as bad. It was a good amount of people, but a bunch of people heard about the party and then just started randomly showing up, and I didn't even know half of the people that came. I was like, I remember telling my brother that if I happened to black out the night, like before the party's over or whatever, kick out whoever was not invited, because it was invites only, strictly invites only. And the Facebook page were the only people that were supposed to be showing up. So people that didn't get invited, that did show up, they like caused a whole controversy, a whole situation, a whole problem, and so many people that are good friends of mine got dragged in and everything like that. And it got to the point that it was so bad where I really felt like it was necessary for me to step in as the host of the party.
Were you drunk at the time when you stepped in?
No. All this like happened like the day after. And I heard stories about it the night before, but like it wasn't to that extent until things got posted on social media. That's when things started getting crazy.
Yeah.
So when I'm drunk, I'm like how do I explain it? I'm not very like only like one person. I wouldn't say I'm more like an emotional or an aggressive, but I'm kind of a mix of everything, I have my emotional times and I have my times where I'm like, yeah, another shot, like don't know my limit or whatever. Overall, the one thing that I know for sure that I always do whenever I'm drunk is that I puke.
You puke?
I puke. I never, even
Of the day that you were drunk.
yeah, the
Okay.
day of I'm drunk, there is never one time where I don't I just can't. I don't know why. I feel like I have a good amount in my system, and when I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Nothing's coming out, and then next thing I know, I'm on the bed like this.
Do you have a routine when you start drinking? Do you eat before you drink?
Yeah, I
Okay.
always try to eat something, specifically carbs, because they absorb alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I ate or not. I don't think I ate that day. Well, actually, not. I had 2 spring rolls, which was okay.
Yeah, I mean, you being the host, it's kind of hard to maintain yourself when you got to maintain a shit ton of people. Like, I get moments to where I cook for a lot of people, and sometimes I forget to eat.
Exactly. When you have people walking in and out of the doors, greeting and saying goodbye, it's like you're there and then you're there, and you don't have the chance to go over to the pot and just grab a quick bite or whatever. But it was a long night. It was a crazy night. I think the party didn't end until 5 in the morning.
Damn.
That's when people started leaving. And I woke up and we did say that if a lot of people can't make it back home, it's okay if they stay the night, but we don't want a super huge amount of people. So I think there was only 3 other people that spent the night with us in there, but oh my god. Some dude's car got in the ditch. Some dude
my god,
climbed the roof. One other dude was doing backflips.
You think you would do that again?
No.
Do you regret it?
No. I don't regret it, but I would never do it again. I feel like if I was to ever host anything again, it would probably be a small get together, close friends, enjoy each other's presence, so that if one person was to get drunk or another, we realize that we could take care of them,
Yeah.
Because with having 40 plus people at the party, it's one person's drunk and you got to tend to that person. One person's drunk, yeah, tend to the person. And I think one party was enough for my entire lifetime, unless I have a big enough house or a big enough venue to be doing those kinds of things. But other than that, I think this is my last one I'll ever gonna do.
Oh wow.
Fun fact: I'm banned from Airbnb. So.
Oh my god! You can't make a new account and scan another ID.
No, it does I cannot anything under my name. If I was to even use a different email, I cannot use my ID to scan it because they're gonna be like, "Oh no, you're banned forever."
Yeah, we know you.
Can't come
we know
back.
you.
But I was just like, damn. And you know what? That was my first time ever booking.
Yeah.
Airbnb too. I was like, you know what? It's all good.
What was the specific reason? Just a lot of people or unexpected parties or some shit?
Well, our neighbor next door that rented the Airbnb, they were cool with it at the beginning. At the beginning they were cool with it. They're like, yeah, what's going on? And we're like, oh, it's a birthday party. We're just having some fun. You guys are welcome to join us. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. We're not gonna bother you guys. We're a little bit too old for this, but you guys have fun and everything like that. And they were cool with that. But I think the moments that I'm laughing because it's so unbelievable, but the moment that someone almost got ran over by them, that's when they kind of...
By the neighbors?
Yes, by the neighbors. Because the house was very, very close to each other. We were just right here, and the house was right there, same drive-through and everything. So what pissed him off was that one person almost got ran over. Ran out to the street and almost got ran over. And that's when they ratted us out.
And drunk-wise, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my god.
Yeah, you'd be surprised on who it is too.
Do I know?
Yeah, you know.
Do I like him?
No.
I don't like him.
No.
Okay. I think I know who you're talking about then. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, but
you don't like him anymore either, right?
No.
Okay.
Okay,
fuck that guy.
It wasn't him. It was his girl.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so much things happened, and that friendship ended that night. That very night too.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I feel like it's kind of a win realizing what happened, and I'm just glad I survived that night because the next day I woke up and I was hungover as shit. That was the first time getting a hangover too, which I was kind of proud of myself because I felt like
really
I was like, it's my 21st. If I don't black out or get a hangover, is it really my 21st? Yeah. So. That's a weird goal, but you know what? It was a goal.
I didn't have that mindset for my 21st. For my 21st, my guys wanted to do something for me, so we got together at my friend's house, and they were smoking, and then we were having drinks, and then NuNu wanted me to go get drunk because she's never seen me drunk, or up to the point where I black out, because I literally just had one bad experience of a hangover, and I just never drink the same. So I'm always having the psychological mindset of being responsible for people and for myself. Sometimes I can be too responsible for people. Like in some cases, you know, like maybe I'm a little bit over you on the bars because I don't want anybody touching you, you know, because you're under my like my vision. If you're there with NuNu, I like to take care of both of you, right? And maybe like you might get uncomfortable because I'm a little bit too much, but I literally just got to be precautious for everything and get ready for everything. But I tend to be the most responsible there. And at my 21st, I just couldn't do it. They offered me shots. I took a few, but I just couldn't get drunk, dude. I just couldn't.
I feel like that one drunk moment that you have and you're like, fuck it, I'm never doing it again. After that, everything is just different. It's not the same anymore.
Yeah.
It's just like that partying person is gone now.
Yeah, I mean, because I used to have that when I was around 17. I don't know if you, because we knew of each other. We knew the people around us at the time, and I was drinking with them. And then the guy that you were talking about, I was drinking with him as well. Yeah. And shit
well,
just...
like, if we really think about it, you started a lot sooner than I did.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really start until, like, afterwards.
Yeah.
So, that's probably why you're kind of out of the phase now.
Yeah, because I don't really see myself doing that. And the more and more I start to think about it, maybe it's a toxic trait. I don't know, but this is just me. But, like, I don't like the idea of hosting an event where most of the people I don't know. If it's like somebody that you're dating or something, that's fine. But if it's like a friend of a friend, I don't like it being there because I don't know who they are or what they're capable of. Like, for example, like that one time you invited those people to my apartment.
What people? Oh,
I think it was more E though, or okay, more of NuNu's sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I did like ask NuNu if it was okay because the only person I invited was my cousin and her boyfriend. Yeah. But
she was chill. She was cool.
I mean, I did tell NuNu, you know, you don't have to say yes if you feel uncomfortable.
But then she
felt bad,
and she wanted to invite these people. I'm not shitting on NuNu, it's just a funny joke.
She's a very sweet person.
Yeah.
So
yeah, she most of the time she just can't say no.
Yeah.
And then I think I just got off of work.
Yeah, you came back and we were all there.
Yeah, I was like, "What's going on, guys?"
My typical greeting of you, "Hey."
It was a small ass apartment, dude, and all those people. It was just me, you, NuNu, her two sisters that was there, and then 4 other people.
Yeah.
In a small fucking 680 square foot apartment.
We made it work.
Yeah, we made it work because they were all in the living room. I went to the game room to start designing, and I was low-key kind of getting a little annoyed because like most of these people were underage at the time. They were underage at the time, and I didn't feel comfortable, you know, being around that. Like, I don't want to be the one that supplies them the things that they shouldn't have. So I'm gonna just get out of it. And the way that, you know, at the time, you know, NuNu was trying to say, you know, it's okay, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, but I guess just let me forget about it. Let me stop being a party pooper, and you guys just do whatever the fuck you want to do. I just don't want to be involved.
I mean, like, I think what was nice of them was when NuNu said, like, hey, guys, I think it's time for you guys to go. It's kind of curfew, and, you know, it's quiet hours. So, and everybody got up and left.
Yeah,
that
was cool.
Which was what I wanted, personally. If I was to get my own place, you know, and I feel like people need to leave at a certain time, like, I hope that you respect me enough to come into my home and leave when I expect you to.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean. Because, like, I didn't know any of them. Other than, like, your cousin, because I think I met her before. But I didn't know any of them, and I didn't want to dim down my mentality to be the same as theirs. So I didn't really engage with them as much.
I didn't really engage with them too.
Yeah, you didn't, because you were awkward too. You were awkward with them, so you came into the game room and laid on the floor.
Well, okay, first of all, to be fair, I look at them and I think, was I like that in high school? Because, like, I don't remember being like that.
Yeah.
So when they kind of portrayed that kind of personality out like that, I'm just kind of like, you guys are cool, but I can't really vibe with you guys.
Exactly.
Because I don't know what to say.
Right? Right? Yeah, I felt the same way because I'm like, I think it's kind of weird just hanging with these people. Not saying that they're weird or anything. I just think it's weird because of that age gap.
Exactly.
You know, like, if it's somebody like I personally know and I have, like, a personal friendship, like, maybe I'll just offer them something. If they don't want to take it, I don't pressure it. But, you know, it was just out of order for me, you know?
Yeah, I feel the same way too. I feel like when I was like, maybe when I was younger, like if I was like, let's say 18 and they were like 14, you know, I feel like it's still kind of within that kind of age because we're all in high school, you know, so we all knew each other. But the thing is that, like, now that I'm out of high school and I'm still kind of at that point, at that time, I still kind of hung around high schoolers.
Mm-hmm.
It made me feel kind of weird, you know?
Yeah.
Because I felt like, why am I around you guys when I can
Yeah.
get my own friends my own age,
Yeah.
you know? And like that had to worry about the cops showing up in my
Yeah,
door.
exactly. I know what you mean because I had that same mindset too. Because the people that I was around with, I'm pretty sure you know, yeah, the people that I was around with at my school, you know, they always hung around the high schoolers and all that too. And I thought that was kind of weird. Like at some points, they considered the high, like the a couple years before or younger than us, like closer than what I have with them. And I'm like, dude, we've been friends since freshman year. I thought our relationship would be cooler, but then I started to like stray away from it, and after high school I just didn't talk to them. Not because they were weird, but I just didn't like that vibe of these younger people trying to think that they're older, but then they're ignorant to see that, you know, there's responsibilities and all that fucking shit. Literally just after high school I just turned myself into an introvert.
Yeah, after high school I stopped talking to a lot of people that I went to school with too, because like I felt like at that time, like my ex-boyfriend at that time they were his group of friends were the people that I hung out with.
Yeah.
So it felt kind of weird that I was still in that group.
Yeah.
So I was just like, you know what? You can have your group of friends back. I feel like I can make my own group of friends. I'm not that socially awkward.
Yeah.
I am, but not that much. So
yeah, you're pretty much open, dude. Like once like you're in your own phase, but when somebody talks to you, you open up. Not like open up to be like, okay, come to my house. You're just like open up, like we can talk.
Hold up, that's a little too much.
You know what I'm saying? Like we can talk. You know, it's a nice conversation. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, fuck. I mean, just to ask this, do you think I'm the same person that I was when I was in high school?
Honestly, no.
There you go. I've been wanting that. Just tell me. Like I'm prepared.
The reason why I say that is because when you were younger, you were very like what's the right word for this?
I'm not gonna be offended. Just say it.
Oh no, I'm not trying to offend you.
Okay.
The point is to offend you. I'm just kidding. No, you were very arrogant and you were somewhat kind of in your own head.
Yeah.
Like I remember what you were like when you were younger, and I know we had like a situation between us before we mended things or together or whatever.
Well, first of all, let me just clarify this. Being who I was in high school, I don't know if Nuku knows this, but if she's listening to this, hun, I love you. I had a crush on her.
I love you too, Nuku.
I did have a crush on her in high school, but now we got that brother and sister thing.
that system's kind of
out. Yeah, it's out. Like
it's
I don't have any, you know, of those feelings towards her.
Yeah. Also, Nuku's my cousin, so just so you guys know that. But we did have a situation between us before, and I felt like at that point when you were so pissed off that I was trying to talk to you, you were just like, nah, man, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to do anything with you. You know, just get out my face. So like, it was really hard to talk to you. And you know, when I was younger, I was kind of I was a kid, so I was also kind of like, you know what, fuck you, you know. And then we kind of just like ignored each other for a while, but then I think after a while I realized how stupid it was, and I came back and I was like, you know what, I'm sorry for what I said. I feel like it was very stupid of me to even like bring up the situation that we were in and what was happening at that time. And then you were like, yeah, I feel like we were just immature, you know. Things could have like been so much worse, but we were able to like make it work.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like when we argued with each other, we stopped talking to each other, but when we fixed the situation, it was like fixed like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was super weird because I have that a lot because most of the time it's just we never come back to apologize until the time was right or the time to realize that it wasn't really that big of a deal and all that. But, you know, it was surprising that we both opened back up to each other, even though it wasn't really like a war between each other. Like, this is a pinnacle of our friendship and this is going to be ended. We just knew that we were still in each other's lives and we just kept it as that. And then we just kept it.
We were just a bunch of kids mad at each other.
Kept the G. Kept the G. Like one of the ways, like I tried to get closer to her, I called her my G.
Oh my god, our nicknames used to be like that.
What was mine?
Yours was my G too.
Yeah.
And I. Oh my god, thinking about it, that was so long ago.
Yeah,
oh
dude.
God.
Like, oh, dude. I'm sorry to bring these up, but
yeah,
but,
he was such a stubborn person. He was so stubborn. Like once he thought of like having it his way, he was there was no way of convincing him to think a different way.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you're not like that anymore.
Yeah, no. I'm pretty aware of what I did and all that too. I think one of the other things that kind of made me stray away from you too is that I was dating my C at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then back when I went to the Yang camp, I felt like you influenced my C to have these feelings that I was cheating on her because I had a week off of like not touching my phone because it's required not to go on your phone at the camp. So yeah, coming back, she had all these assumptions made about me cheating on her, and then I kind of had that idea of you were that pinnacle point. Not to ask if you were or not. It's just it is what it is, and I don't really give a fuck anymore. But
well, to just clear up on the situation, like I wasn't like really like saying that. Oh yeah, Lucas is
yeah,
cheating.
yeah.
But she just kept bringing up like situations that bother her. So I just told her, why don't you just ask him? I feel like it's the easiest way to sort out the situation, to just get your confirmation that nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
But I don't know how she ventured out.
Yeah, I think she just kind of interpreted it as me, like because you said, you know, why don't you ask him? She couldn't ask me at that time because I didn't have my phone. So maybe it just kind of amplified after that to, you know, bring her in all these emotions and all that shit too.
But I think that like when you and my C started dating, we were still kind of like close friends. So she wanted to get close to me too, and then me and her got really close. So we used to like call each other and text each other on the daily. Yeah. But I didn't realize that she had these kinds of like things going on with her head. You know, when you're younger, you overthink a lot more. Yeah. So.
And she was 2 years younger than me, actually. Yeah.
The hella tall.
Hella fucking tall. But so I had this situation with her. I think that's actually one of the pinnacle points why we broke up, because she just didn't have trust in me. So that's one of the things that, like, you know, I thought we had this trust, and I told you I wouldn't, because first of all, it's called Yang Camp, so most of them are people with my last name. So how the fuck would I, you know, be able to do that shit?
Oh, to clear it up, Hmong people are not allowed to date other Hmong people with our same last name.
Yeah, same last name. But you can if like if your mother or their mother is a Yang. My father's a Yang. If their mother is a Yang, but their father is a, you know, a different last name, then I can. Like, for example, like that's me and Nuku because their mom's a Yang. It's not forbidden. That in that aspect.
Just like from the father's point.
Yeah, from the father's point. But yeah, that's one of the pinnacle points why we broke up. But, you know, ever since I just kind of kept it cool, kept it like, you know, whatever. I still didn't blame you though, but I also were trying to be friends with her after, not directly because I knew it had to take time. But what do you think of that? Of if an ex-boyfriend was the one to dump for a good reason, but to try to stay as friends because you consider this person as somebody that, you know, you care about, and to kind of forgive all of that shit, it's kind of hard.
Well, I think everybody has their own different opinions. For me, I'm not friends with any of my exes, but that's not by choice. Yeah. I feel like we all go through a different point in our lives, and if you feel like at this point I don't want you to be a part of my life, that's up to you. But I'm that kind of person that at the end of the day, if you still need someone just there morally for support, I'm here for you, you know? And not on like a boyfriend and girlfriend scale, but more like I care for you because I'm your friend. Yeah. And for me personally, I think I could be friends with my ex. It just depends on how they would approach the situation. If they get like kind of like crazy awkward or like start like bad mouthing, that's when I like withdraw myself. Like I'm like, okay, you know what, you don't enjoy my company, but you don't really have the guts to tell me that you don't enjoy my company. So instead of just confronting you, I'm just gonna back away, and then I'm gonna do my own thing. You can do yours.
Yeah, that's a good concept. I used to have that concept, like, like easy answer. If my current girlfriend, or at the time, if my current girlfriend would question like, why are you friends with your ex? It's like, I consider this person somebody close. Easy answer. But then it's that whole mental barrier to be like, he could be going back to her and all that shit too. But thankfully none of my exes messaged me about anything else, so I just kind of have that. I had a few cases earlier in our relationship of that happening, but, you know, more and more time comes, we started to open up more and started to trust each other more.
Yeah. In my relationship, we talked about this way before we even like started dating. Like I did tell my boyfriend like straight up from the beginning when he told me that he liked me. I told him straight up, I have a lot of guy friends, you know, and I just want to let you know that they're just friends. But I'm letting you know ahead of time so you kind of know what you're signing up for. Yeah. But like I did tell him that, but like coming from ex-boyfriends aspects, I don't talk to any of them anymore. I don't have any contact with them anymore, so you don't have to worry about that. At the end of the day, the one thing that you can trust me on is that I'm never gonna cheat on you. I would never like leave you for something else. You know, if I know what I have is good, why would I trade it for something else?
Yeah.
You know? So I think like I said before, based on like becoming friends with your ex after the relationship is just really how you guys both handle it.
Yeah, definitely. I know what you mean. Anyways, we're gonna take our second break. We'll get back to you shortly. This podcast is brought to you by Tints LLC, listeners to the BeeHole Podcast. With my experience of listening through podcasts like these, I'm usually driving my car. And let me guess, you're doing the same thing. Research shows that 38% of US adults listen to podcasts while driving their car. But there's also a percentage of you that laugh and smile throughout segments while showing off your beautiful face to the car next to you. In your head, you're probably thinking, oh, does this person think I'm crazy or insane? Yes is the answer. If you want to listen to this podcast driving your car without having to be scared of the car next to you, I recommend getting your windows tinted by Tints LLC. Tints LLC is an automotive window tinting service with over 6+ years of experience with 5-star ratings and reviews. So, if you're located in Dane County, Wisconsin, or if you're not afraid to travel, Tints LLC offers services that provide you the best and pristine quality of tint applied to your windows. Now, for my lovely BeeHole bandits, if you head to Tints LLC's Facebook page, dial 608-217-5773, or visit their building located 4102 Lien Road, Suite D, Madison, Wisconsin, and set up an appointment. For a limited time, use code BeeHole Podcast to receive $40 off your next window tint service. You heard me, $40 off. Again, call them today at 608-217-5773 or visit their Facebook page and use code BeeHole Podcast to get $40 off your next window tint service and get that car looking more beautiful today. Code is eligible for any window tint service offered. All right, and we're back. Just an FYI, guys. The camera has like 2 batteries left. So, if you guys are watching this video format, it's going to be cutting to a background of the thumbnail, blah, 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 how I used to do in my old podcasts. So, just to let you guys know to be aware of that. Anyways, so let's keep the conversation going. So, you had a lot of relationship experiences. A lot of them were actually in town, right?
It's funny because you were just talking about this off camera.
Yeah.
Well, if we're talking about like serious relationships,
we're not giving names. We're not giving names, but
not giving names.
I just wanted to ask like some.
But you know who you are.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I just want to like go off of it for a question that eventually you're gonna answer. But yeah.
So my first serious relationship and my current relationship is in town, and my second relationship, he lived out of town. Yeah.
Okay. Most of my relationships before Nuku was out of town because I, like I've said before, might get tiring to you hearing this shit again, but I was an internet guy to portray myself on the internet as best as I could. And that kind of, landed onto the people that I was with and all that shit now. But now that I got in like a close in-town relationship, life is so much better. But,
yeah.
Yeah, going off of that though, I just wanted to ask you if you have any relationship advice for a guy trying to get a girl. Maybe if it's a girl that's he considers out of his league, somebody that's not really into the things that he's into, someone that doesn't really consider themselves being a relationship type person. What would you give to the guy?
Run. I'm just kidding. I feel like that's kind of a hard thing to like really go based off on, because if you're giving advice to someone and you're they're targeting a person who doesn't want to be in a relationship, or just seems like a person that can't be in a relationship, it's kind of hard to change their perspective on it. So I mean, I would say like the biggest part of trying to win a girl's heart is patience, because it could really depend on what she's going through, because it could be from traumatic experiences from the past, or it could just simply be because she's just not ready. Some people go into relationships not living the life they wanted while they were single, so they try living it when they're in a relationship, and that just doesn't play out well, because when you're in a relationship, certain things that you want to do you can't do.
Yeah.
As a as a single person, you can still do it because you don't have to think about, oh, I have a partner. But once you have a partner, you're kind of just like, I can't do that anymore because now I have a partner. I have to respect their opinions and their decisions, and to keep them safe and happy. But personally, if you want to go for a girl, I'd say go for a girl who is interested in you. Going for a girl who is not interested in you is going to take a lot more work, and it's going to be very hard. And a lot of the times it ends up being in, like, it causes too much pain. Even if you guys do eventually end up getting together, if this person didn't really have intentions of being with you in the first place, chances are that you're going to like her more than she likes you. Therefore, she's probably going to be half-assing all the efforts that she puts into that relationship.
Yeah.
It's easiest to date someone who has the same amount of interest in you as you do them, or simply have somebody that, like, just a tad bit likes you a little bit more than you like them, because you can tell by that they show more effort or an equal amount of effort. I'm telling you, when you date someone who is just not as interested in you than you are in them, it's fucking hard.
Yeah. So definitely.
My advice is that if you want to be with somebody, look for somebody who is wanting to be in a relationship and who already has, like, an interest in you, so that you guys can build from there. Because if you start, like, solely from scratch, where where she doesn't have a single interest in you, because this is what I like to believe. There is no way that a person would even talk to you or even look at you if they don't have an interest in you. So even if the girl is like, oh, well, yeah, he's kind of cute, that's still an interest. But if a girl's like, nah, I don't really like him, I would never, like, be with him, he's such a nice guy, but I wouldn't be with him. That's the kind of girl that is gonna be very hard to get with, because you'll always be that friend that sit on the sidelines watching her date every other dude out there but you. So it's easier to just date somebody who's like, well, yeah, I think he's cute. I feel like he's someone that I would see myself with. Those are the kind of girls that you could build a better relationship with. Yeah.
So did you consider yourself the person to kind of be open to a relationship, like, off the bat, or were you more of just, I'm gonna just focus on myself and whatever I can see a spark in, that might happen? Like, were you the type of girl to be like, I'm not really interested, so you're gonna have to wait for me or not give up on me? Or do you be like, I mean, you're kind of cute, so I guess something, there's like the two examples that you just said. What do you consider yourself to be?
I'm not gonna lie, I think when I was younger, I was very afraid of being alone. Even if I knew I wasn't ready for a relationship, I still kind of hopped into the next one just because I was so scared of being by myself. So I was continuously, like, in and out of a relationship. If I was considering all my immature relationships from, like, middle school up until, like, now, then I would, like I said, I was so scared of being alone. Like, I couldn't bear the thought of just being by myself. I couldn't enjoy my own company. So I was always like, I have to be with somebody, even if it's not someone that I necessarily like that much, I have to be with somebody. But I think after my second serious relationship, I was just like, you know what? I think I need to take some time and really think about me and what I want in my life and how to enjoy my own company. And that, like, took a while. But between my first and second serious relationship, it was a very short gap. But that's because my second ex, he took me by surprise. Originally, we were supposed to wait, but I guess we just couldn't.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm like, my mindset at that time was like, oh, if I don't say yes to being his girlfriend, he's gonna leave me. He's not gonna wait. Okay. So I was a scared person who just didn't want to be alone.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, because I recently had a situation to where, or let's just bring, like, an example of this here. So somebody that is not directly looking for somebody that is up to his stature, and I was just like, that same scenario about, like, it's kind of hard to go off with the thing that I questioned you about, of somebody in that situation. So that happened to somebody. And
do I know this somebody?
Yeah. I know the person that the person is trying to go for, what he is trying to go for.
And I know the person that he's trying to go for too, right?
Okay,
Okay,
maybe,
I think I know. I
maybe.
might know who you're
But
talking
the
about.
the advice that I give to him, because I know who she is, and it's not to like shit on her because of what she believes in, but it's to more like to be aware of yourself. I'm fighting for two people here. I'm not fighting for you. I'm not fighting for her. I'm just fighting for you guys being okay by yourselves or independently. So what I told to this guy, and some people would tell him like, oh, you got to keep trying and you got to keep going and never give up, build your self-confidence. I'm like, yeah, it's cool to have that, but it's always depending on the people that, you're going for. And you should just be lucky that I know this person, how she is, because one, I've known her for a long time, and she hasn't really been in too much situations or relationships and all that too. But in some cases, the way that she can go about it or the way that she reacts to other guys that she knows is a little bit more comforting, like a little bit comfy where it's kind of scary for her to do it. It's more dangerous for her. And I told him, like, if you really want her and you really consider yourself being her in life in the future, it's not the idea of nice guys finish last, but it's more of the idea of showing who you become if you pursue. Do you want to become super stalkerish or toxic to the point where you can't really or you cannot see yourself without her, or do you want to see her for herself? Let her open up to you, and you can see who she really is. That way she can open up to you, and then you can just pounce on that. But for her specifically, it's gonna take a long time because she's not really looking for one. And like I said, all these people were just giving him these false objectives, and I'm like, no, I think you should not give yourself that false hope to kind of have your expectations super high, but then all break down when it doesn't go your way, because that's not the way how it goes. Because I used to be like that, and with you having that mindset, you're gonna start blaming her, which is something that you shouldn't do. Because if you're blaming her for something that she doesn't want to do, then you're basically controlling, but you don't know it. Because you're thinking that she's a girl that broke a nice person's heart, and you're telling everybody like, oh, she rejected me, and they're thinking the same thing, like, oh, why would she reject this person because he's such a nice person, and you're basically just having people shit on her off of something that she wanted to do herself because it's her choice to say no. And I didn't want him to have that mindset, because you shouldn't have that mindset, because that's toxic.
Exactly. As like, not saying that his friends aren't real or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, as a person that you like genuinely care for, it's just what you should be telling him, the honest truth. Especially since you're saying that she's not really looking for a relationship. Like, he shouldn't really be having his hope up so high, because he knows that, oh, if I keep trying, she's gonna eventually give in, But it's not always that. It's not always like that.
Yeah.
That's why like when I'm just call him Bob. When I have a friend called Bob, because that's not his real name, but that's just what we're gonna call him. So he has a crush on he had a crush on a girl who was basically like the girl that you were talking about, and all his friends were like feeding him so much hope and everything like that. And then when he came up to me to ask for my opinion, I'm like, do you want me to be honest with you? Because if I'm honest, you might not like what I'm saying. And he's like, well, I just kind of want to see your point of view, as a girl. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie to you. If she's like that, it's gonna be hard for you to get to where she is. I know a lot of people say that love comes finding you when you're not looking for it.
Yeah.
But it's not always the case that it's gonna work out like that.
Yeah.
So I just told him, like, if you like her, you're welcome to try, but just don't get your hopes up so high, because in the end, if everything comes falling down or crumbling down, where she eventually just kind of sees you as a brother, it's just, it's not gonna work. And that's the thing too. People are like, try, but don't try so hard where you get stuck in the friend zone.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're gonna try for a girl, you try. Otherwise, just don't try.
Do you think guys can get out of the friend zone?
Yeah.
I think that's an obvious answer. It's like people have the idea of a friend zone being like, oh, you're trapped forever, and I'm like, that's not the case.
That's something that you talk about too, about the girl that you have an interest in. Let's just say that you are in the friend zone, right? And it's a conversation that you want to bring up just because eventually she's going to tell you the honest opinion. Like, if there was a friend that would say, like, okay, if I was single and there was a friend that I was interested in, but he was in the friend zone, he said, what do you think about me? Would you ever get with me? You know, like I would be honest with him. Like I would, if I was like, nah, I never see you like that because you're like my brother, then I'd be honest. But if I do see myself being with a person like that, I was just like, you know, I think I'd give you a chance. But that, like I said, that's like a conversation that you would bring up if you do want to be with her, and if she sees somewhat kind of an interest, that's your go. That's your green light to go.
Yeah. Do you think that's a weird question? Like just a random like, do you think you could? You think you would be with me? You know, like whatever. Like if we're both single at the time, do you think that we could get? Do you think that we could
well,
get
like
together?
if it's like out of the blue, like let's say you guys are talking about chicken nuggets. Yeah, because if you're talking about chicken nuggets and then you move to that, that's like, whoa, where did this come from?
Damn, this ranch is hitting. Anyways, do you think we could get together?
Exactly. It has to kind of like tie into what you're trying to say. If you're just randomly saying it, girls are gonna be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Do you think it's corny?
Corny?
Or do you think it's a good icebreaker to kind of have this awkward tension not be there, and somebody's actually trying to quote unquote confront the situation, but not as like 100% confrontational, but just the idea of it being there, right?
I mean, personally, for me, I just rather have you ask me straight up. Like, don't beat around the bush.
Yeah.
If you need something to say, just say it. And if I'm gonna answer, I'm gonna answer it. If I'm not gonna answer it, then I'll just run out the door. I'm just kidding. A lot of people know me. I'm a pretty open person. So if these kinds of questions like hit me, I'll just tell you straight up. I don't like those kinds of questions like, you know, what if, or
not saying that, but do you think I can clap them cheeks? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Like it's like, oh, but I'm not saying I like you or anything like that. I'm just saying if we were single, and it's like,
I know what you're trying to do, guy.
Get to the point.
Yeah,
like,
I know what you're trying to do. Say. Wasting my fucking time.
Yeah, exactly. If you're gonna get your feelings butt hurt, don't even ask it.
Exactly. And one of the advice that I would give to like guys that want advice is to, most of the time it's like you don't want to go for ask advice from the guys, because most of the time they have their ego or their masculine showing out to be like, oh, woman like this, woman like that. There's only a few people that can give you that clarity of like, oh, I mean, every woman's different, you know. What is she like? They will ask you the questions like, how is she, blah blah blah, you know. But most of the time you should be asking a girl, because this is all girls' feelings. Us men cannot compete with that, dog. We have our own feelings. It's like a girl asking a guy about, or a girl asking another girl about how to get with a guy. You know, it's like the guy is different. It's the same subject, but you just gotta find out the people around you, because a lot of these people will gaslight you, and not intentionally, because first of all they're hyping you up, which is cool. You know, you can hype people up, but the better friends are the one that tell you the truth, or tell you straight up, like, honestly, how is she? You know, do you honestly consider yourself doing that? I don't want to be a part. I don't want to have you have this false objective, and me being a person to give you that false idea of what you could have gotten into. I'll be here to support you and all, but for me to like lie to you and be like, oh, she likes this, oh, she definitely gonna like this, that's like I'm not a good friend if I would do that, you know. So,
well, then again, like you can only know so much about a person.
Yeah, exactly.
So even if they do come ask me, like, oh, what's she like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
I only know like 25% of her.
Exactly. I know what you mean. And like I said, for this person, and you know, I've known her for a while, but just to say that, I'm not saying I 100% know her, like what she's been through and who she fucked or who she sucked. You know, I'm just saying, like, dude, I mean,
if you know that much, that's a little bit too much.
You can't like press into that barrier right away. You just got to go from the outside perspective and be more of a gentleman and have manners. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm pretty sure it's not hard for people to tell when it gets awkward. So if that's the situation, if it gets to the point where it is super awkward, just like, kindly remove yourself from the situation. Like, hey, it was nice talking to you, but I'll catch up with you next time, and dip.
Exactly. And that's what I kind of told the guy too, because he was kind of walking around eggshells on how to talk to her or make sure it wasn't awkward between the both of them. I'm like, dude, you just gotta be honest. The thing is you don't want to be too honest, or honest to the point where you don't know what you're saying, but speak it out to yourself first to see what feelings are coming out. Listen to what you said and try to form that into more of a kind gesture. You know, like this person, I advised him to, like, I'm going out to do this, maybe give her some opportunities. If she just doesn't take it, that's fine. Don't take it personal.
Yeah.
But if you're going out somewhere for a while, just send her a message like, hey, it was nice to see you, nice to meet you. I wish we had more time, but unfortunately, that's not how it goes. And yeah, I'll see you next time.
Actually, fun fact: girls are when you start talking to a girl, if the atmosphere gets awkward and you remove yourself, girls, a lot of girls actually appreciate it because they don't know how to get out of the conversation. And when it comes to a girl who does like you and enjoy having the conversation with you, and then you just like say, hey, you know what, I gotta go, but it was nice talking to you, it gives them that kind of mindset that they still want to talk to you.
Yeah.
So which is a good thing too, because if you end up messaging her online, chances are she's gonna reply back.
Yeah. And a lot of the time too, it's just, do you think the reverse psychology works with a lot of women? To be like, if I'm not giving you that much attention, are you the person to really want my attention then? Like, for example, if we're in a club, right? A lot of the story goes as, if this person gets a lot of attention from somebody, but then there's that one person that doesn't give her that attention, she's the one that seeks him out. Do you think that happens a lot with the female gender?
With women, yeah. Because I feel like not a lot of women would admit this, but I feel like women are like, if we go together in a group, we're going as like a duo. Like, let's say like if if a girl and her best friend goes out, chances are if that one girl gets more attention, the other girl's gonna feel left out. So she's most likely gonna seek out attention from either the guy that's talking to her or a different guy that's next to her. So girls are usually like that. Some girls like, no, I'm not like that. Okay, well, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about other girls out there, because majority of the girls usually are like that. Because speaking from like my personal experiences when I was single, I like attention too. Maybe because I'm also like a Leo. My zodiac sign's a Leo.
Okay.
But the thing is that girls do like the attention, because if they're gonna dress nice, look nice, go out, and have fun, stuff like that, they want to have compliments like, oh, you look good, you look nice, can I buy you a drink? Girls are usually like that, especially when they're single. Girls are like, I want that kind of attention, but if I'm not getting it, I'm gonna go and seek it from somewhere else or someone else, even if it's not in the same bar.
So I have another scenario for you to kind of put your opinions on. So imagine there's you're in a relationship with a person, and you dressed up to go out to the bars or something, blah blah blah. You're out with your friends and all this, and then a random person comes and gives you a compliment. Not too bad. Am
I single or am I taken?
You're taken. You're in a relationship. Okay. So somebody was giving you a compliment, but sometimes in a bit it was a little bit too much. Not from you, not from what you think, but what your partner thinks is a little bit too much. And your partner kind of took control of the situation and kind of like, not drag you, but like pull you away from it to make sure like you're okay and he's okay and everything's safe. Do you consider yourself less controlling or less controlled because you could handle it yourself, which you could, that could be an option, or would you like for your partner to take control if he's there with you?
I think that would just depend on the situation. Going based off your situation, me and my partner, we've talked about this way before already, and he says to me, I know you can take care of yourself, but if it gets out of control, you have to come and let me know. So the cue for me to like, hey, you need to step in, is me telling him. Otherwise, he's just kind of like, do his own thing, and he's not aware of what's going on, because he has his own friends, and I have my own friends, and it's not like we like avoid each other the whole night, but it's just like we're not always by each other the whole night. But when it comes to situations like that, the cue is to come and let me know. But if he sees me, like let's say we're sitting at the bar and he's out like a little bit further out with his friends, his group of friends, and like a guy comes up to me and is like talking to me like, hey, it's a nice night and stuff like that, generally just having conversation, he's not gonna do anything about it because we're just having a conversation. But if it comes to the point where he's like, hey, can I buy you a drink? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I have a boyfriend. And then he's like, come on, like being really persistent, like ends up grabbing my arm or like, making me feel uncomfortable. That's when he can tell, and he'll come up and he's like, hey, I don't like that you're doing that to my girl. You better back away. But in that kind of situation, like I don't mind if he does come and take control of the situation, because I know he just means well. He wants the best for me and he wants to keep me safe. But if it's like a situation where he's just like giving me weird, awkward comments about how I look, personally, I'd just get up and leave.
Yeah.
There's no way I'd sit there and listen to the whole thing,
Yeah, which
and
is
then
cool. Yeah.
yeah, and then like I wouldn't like get up and leave and go to somebody else. I would just get up and leave and go to my boyfriend.
Yeah, because I've told NuNu before as I don't like going out, and I've made that very apparent on this podcast. Sometimes she would go out with her friends and you guys, right? So whenever it comes to that, I'm never hesitant to be like, oh, should I really let her go out? I'm not like that. I'm like, she's always afraid to ask me to go out. I'm like, why do you gotta fucking? Well, first of all, it's nice to let me know, but you ain't gonna act like I'm controlling you or no, you have to stay home. I'm not your father, but she was afraid. But for a while, I just told her like, dude, if you want to go out, just go out. Just let me know. That way, like I can prepare myself to kind of like, if you need me, I'll be ready. But I have full trust into her to see like if somebody would talk to her, she would handle the situation right. But if I were to be there at that situation, like we'll both go out, right? And I just feel uncomfortable with the way somebody's talking to her or handing her something, right? I'm gonna pull her out of that situation. Do you think it's wrong of me to do that? And if she would to kind of bring up this diatribe of, I can handle myself. You don't need to handle it for me. I'm more of a person like, I know you can handle yourself, but me being your significant other and being there to witness it, I'm uncomfortable. So I want to be able to help control the situation. Am I too controlling, or is it miscommunication between both sides?
I feel like that's not controlling, because like coming from your situation, it's not like you do it all the time, It's just because you saw what was happening and you don't necessarily enjoy it, so you pulled her to the side to just tell her, hey, just kind of want to let you know that this kind of makes me a little uncomfortable. It's not like you're like bitching at her or like grabbing her or hitting her or anything like that. You're simply just expressing your feelings.
No, I just pimp slapped her.
Yeah, out like that. No, it's simply you expressing your feelings, and that's what's important about a healthy relationship. I feel like if that was to happen to me, I wouldn't necessarily get upset. Like I would just ask like, "Oh, what's wrong?" And then he would just be honest with me, like, "I didn't really like that was happening."
Yeah, because most of the time the situations is kind of you don't understand what's actually going on, because you might consider it something something not as bad, but people outside of the box can see it as something bad. So most of the time they're confused and they can be angry because it's like, what the fuck was going on? I thought it was a genuine conversation. He's like, dude, he literally said he wanted to stick his dick down your throat. You didn't hear that? That could be a case. You know what I'm saying? So, I think it's just the amount of clarity and context that goes into it should really open their eyes more, because we had that NuNu and I've had that situation to where she was talking to a guy that I didn't really like. But I don't want to say she can't have guy friends, but if I feel a vibe or a gut feeling, and I'm not saying this just to kind of like shit on her and be like she's the worst girlfriend, because we fucking stride through that shit and we communicated very well to kind of get out of that situation to where I wasn't even blaming her, because sometimes you really don't know. So we had a situation to where a guy was talking to her, and she thought it was a genuine conversation at the time. Going through the messages and all that, not like secretly, but like openly. He randomly sent her a text message of him doing a selfie and like saying that I wish you were here, and I felt some type of way, right? And not to say she didn't know what was going on or she kind of felt like she was trying to be dumb with me, but she genuinely just didn't know why it happened because she doesn't know his feelings. So as a guy, like, I know how a guy thinks. He wants to fuck you. You know what I'm saying? And we had a face-to-face confrontation. He didn't message me at all. He just knew of me. He just didn't know me. And he thought that he can kind of slide into NuNu's DMs and all that shit. And she didn't know because she thought it was a genuine connection, like friendship connection. But for me at the time, I wanted to cut it off because I'm like, he stepped over a line a little bit. I just don't feel comfortable with a guy around you, so... but we went to an event together, me, NuNu, and then the guy showed up there. And then she didn't really introduce me to him, or she did, but I didn't really look at him. I just kind of ignored his ass. So we were walking through a crowd, and then he pulled her back and then offered her a beer. And then I turned around, I'm like, nope. Grabbed that beer, I'm like, nah, she's not taking this, bro. And I just threw it away in the trash. Thankfully, though, she wasn't really like, why did you do that? That's my best friend. But if she were to be like that, was I in the wrong, or would she be in the wrong?
I
Because
don't think you guys were. I don't think you guys would necessarily be wrong or right.
yeah.
The reason why I'm saying that is because, some girls are just generally oblivious about what's
Mhm.
actually happening. Because obviously, a lot of girls don't know about what guys' truly intentions are. Coming from like an innocent aspect, like if it's like, oh, this is my first boyfriend, or this is my like first interactions like with the dudes out in the outside world. Some girls are just very oblivious. But what you did wasn't wrong either, too, because the dude's intention were to get with her,
Mhm.
even though he knew that you guys were together. He disrespected the fact that you were her boyfriend. So he didn't have to like pull her to the side and say, oh, drink this beer. He could have asked you guys both,
Mhm.
hey, do you guys want to drink? Let's all get a beer together. That's like respecting the relationship and
Mhm.
not just wanting to interact with the girl.
Mhm.
And was the beer already open and everything like that?
Yeah, the beer was
Yeah,
open. It was
so
a Corona bottle.
yeah, so who knows what happened to it beforehand?
Yeah.
Because let's just say like if you were let's say that you weren't there at that moment, you went to the bathroom or something like that, and if you did take it could have been spiked.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that every dude out there
Yeah.
is like that,
Yeah.
but then again, that's just how the world
Mhm.
is. That's just how people are nowadays. So I don't think you were wrong for like saying, oh no, she's not taking that, because obviously he already overstepped the line and he disrespected you as
Mhm.
her boyfriend and your relationship in general. So simply saying no, she's not drinking the beer and I don't like you, fuck
Mhm.
you, it's like normal.
See, now, like, out of context, like, if nobody would know, they can see me as controlling to say, like, oh, no, it's just a friendly gesture to hand somebody a beer, But first of all, he didn't ask me. And second of all, we didn't properly get introduced, or I just ignored him because of ignorance. But you just kind of stepped over a line to offer her a beer when, I don't really know you like that, which is not cool to me. But from an outside perspective, maybe some people can consider me being controlling. That's why I just wanted to ask. But thankfully, she was really just going off of my feelings and like understanding me. And even though I didn't really give her enough context at the time because it was just at the moment, she knew I was it was uncomfortable for me, so we just kind of backed out of that situation. But I mean, not to like always pinpoint NuNu to be in the bad guy, because I'm completely oblivious too. Sometimes I don't know if a girl actually likes me or not, even if we have genuine conversations too. You know, we had a moment to where I was completely oblivious to somebody talking to me, and I didn't know she liked me. Maybe she didn't confess to me at all, but the way that she was talking about me or to me and all that shit, NuNu felt some type of way too. And at the time, I denied it. I'm like, "You're crazy. You're tripping." But within time, the real feelings started coming out, and I'm like, oh, so this is what she meant.
Yeah, because as the opposite sex, a lot of people don't realize it until like another, like let's say like since you're a guy and I'm a girl, right?
Mm.
And Nuku's like saying like, oh, the girl likes him, and then you don't see it until we point it out because we're girls and we know what girls like and what girls don't like. And the same thing goes with guys. Guys know when some dude is being suspicious. Like when somebody's trying to fuck your girl, like dudes are like, I fucking know, bro. That's why I don't fucking like him.
Uh-huh.
And girls are the same too.
Do you trust your gut?
Do I trust my gut?
Yeah.
A lot of the time, yeah, I do, but I don't like fully like depend on it too, because I could be wrong. So I always solve the solution by simply asking.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
like if I have a strange feeling in my gut, I'll just straight up ask him. And if he says well, nothing ever happened, like when you speak face to face, you can't avoid knowing how the person acts differently, especially when you've been with a person for so long. You know how they act, how their facial features are, and everything like that. So when you talk to them in person and you confront them about a certain situation that bothers you, if their facial features are different from how it usually is, that's how you know something is going on. But if they tell you straight up, nothing's ever happened between us, oh, she's just a friend, she's family, and you can tell by their face, like calm and very well like put together, then that's how you know that they're telling the truth. But my man, whenever I ask him a situation, he never beats around the bush. He just gets to the point and just tells me straight up.
That's good. Yeah. I had an embarrassing, oblivious moment for myself. I was with NuNu. We were at a bar. We were with our friends. I don't know if she told you about the story.
No, but I might know the story.
So she's with her friends. I let her have fun. I'm just in the background. I think there was just only one other guy there that's just off a relationship with one of her friends. But I'm just standing back there. I'm I look like a bodyguard. I just sit there, or I just stand like at Pacific or Ranchitos.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I was just sitting. I was just kind of looking off, making sure people aren't weird, or I just observe, right? And sometimes my face can be like very like not resting bitch face, but it's like bodyguard face, I guess.
Bodyguard
to where
face.
everybody called me a bodyguard. I'm like, dude, I can't be a bodyguard. I'm too small. But anyways, so a situation happened where we went on the dance floor, and I was just standing with my arms crossed and shit, and then there's this guy starts dancing towards me. I didn't know who he was. He just started telling me or asking me some things. He's like, hey, how you been? And I'm like, I'm good. And I'm like, blah blah blah. Asked me a couple questions, and like, started talking about stuff. And I was just open to it. I was like, yeah, I don't really go out like that, blah blah blah. And I thought it was a genuine conversation until
I think I know this.
NuNu started dancing up on me, and I was like, and I was still with my arms crossed. I wasn't open up to it, but she still started dancing up to me. And then the guy was like, I think she likes you. I'm like, I mean, she's my girlfriend. And NuNu kind of grabbed me away from her. And then NuNu and her friends go, bro, you just got hit on at the bar. I was like, what?
Oh, you guys were at that one bar, huh?
Rewind.
Oh.
Yeah, we were at the bar. And then he was just talking to me, and they're just like, dude, you just got hit on. I was like, no, I wasn't. I was just talking to a person. Like, dude, you literally just got hit on. He just started dancing up to you, and then, started, talking to you. I'm like, that's getting hit on? Then what the fuck? I didn't know that was getting hit on. What the fuck was that? And then they all started making fun of me. Like, yeah, Luke got hit on by a gay dude at a fucking bar. I was like, first of all, I'm not offended. But second of all, I'm like, I didn't know. I was so oblivious to it. I was gullible.
I mean, I guess like coming from girls and gay men, they kind of, I'm not saying they do relate, but in some ways they kind of relate. So we kind of know when you're getting hit.
Which is like, I also had like a mental trip too. I'm like, dude, it's terrifying for women, to go to the bar and you don't know if somebody is talking to you just to have a genuine conversation, because you always have to kind of put that face of protection around yourself if you're by yourself or even with your friends. And I'm like, dude, if that was so easy for me to like consider it a genuine conversation, geez, now I know why like you got to be very careful out
That's
here.
why like people are always saying, wow, girls are so arrogant and such bitches at the bars, but the thing is that we're looking out for ourselves, because nobody else is gonna look out for us, especially like single women. When you go out, dudes are always gonna be prying in the corners and everything like that. So like there are some really nice dudes out there who genuinely just want to have a good conversation with you, but sometimes there are just some specific guys out there who pushes it to the point where you're like, oh, okay, I kind of like just want to stop. But some dudes don't know how to take no for an answer, and they'll literally follow you in the bar. So it's not us being a bitch, it's just us simply feeling uncomfortable and removing us from the situation, and you won't let us go.
Yeah, which is, like I said, fucking terrifying. Thankfully, I've never really had an experience like that or around that, because one, I don't go out.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, I'm like a responsible person for other people. Did you consider me a little bit responsible for you at the Pacifico at all? Or Ranchitos?
No, because you left us. I'm just kidding.
At the end of Pacifico, yeah, I did leave you guys.
I mean, at Ranchitos, I kind of figured that you just weren't that kind of person who would like to party and stuff like that. And I thought, I strictly thought you were there for business, like to take photos and everything.
And I didn't even take a lot of photos.
But like, well, that's what I thought you were there for. But I think you're, up until the end, you were pretty pretty responsible person. You didn't like over drink because you knew you were driving, and that you had a bunch of people that came with you guys too, and you were responsible of taking them all home. So you were like, you know what, I don't want to go crazy, I don't want to drink a lot. But I don't think you even drank at Ranchitos, right? You probably took
I didn't
couple
drink
sips of NuNu's drink only, right?
No, a couple sips, and then I took a shot with one of my sister's friends.
Yeah,
because my sisters were out of town, and they were just like, Lucas, what are you doing here? I was like, just here to support my friend. He's like, we gotta take a shot and send it to your sister. I'm like, okay. And I took a shot. And that's the first time I was so open to it, dog. Because usually, like, nah, I'm okay. But like, I like my sister's friend that gave me the shot. I consider her a sister too. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll just take a shot.
Yeah. So I didn't really see you drink until you dropped off NuNu's sisters, and it was pretty much just me, you, and Ari. But Ari drove herself. So I felt like you were pretty like responsible, because you were pretty much around us until Ari left, because I think that was a situation that you were more like aware of because of what happened to her. So you were around us a little bit more because she got
Yeah.
so
I remember that. Yeah, because she told me like I think some guy grabbed my ass. I'm like, all right, let me just like not be because she's first of all she's fucking tall as fuck. I think eventually I'm gonna have her on the podcast if she's open to it. But she told me that, and she was also like aware. She wasn't drinking at the night too, so she was always aware of everything. But she wanted to have a good time too. So me being the masculine guy that I was, I just kept my arms around, like have like an arm distance. So if somebody was getting close to her, right, I'll put my hand on her, like not directly, like physical touch on her back, but like a few inches away. So make sure like there's that barrier so somebody doesn't touch her and all that shit. Do you consider that a little bit too overboard? Do you think that's a nice feeling? Like if we were to go through a crowd, right? If you and me were to go to a crowd, Nuku was there, right? So if you and me were to go to a crowd because we just want to go out to grab a drink, and Nuku's in, the dance floor, and then we have to go through people, I'll have you head first, but then I have my like arms around you, not touching you, but like to kind of push people away from you so they don't touch you. Do you think that's a little bit too much, or do you think that's, a nice gentleman gesture?
I mean, like as a person who, as Ari, who she's since she's single, I think it'd be a nice feeling to have somebody knowing that even if you were to go out, you still have somebody who would take care of you and protect you, because obviously women are more vulnerable than men are, because men has a higher advantage than women does. So like, her being single and you being there to protect her, I think that's a good feeling, to have somebody there to just protect you.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm like, it's funny too, because Ari can literally just fucking 300 fucking boot kick everybody off the fucking pedestal because she's so tall compared to everybody else.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is that people like don't understand that even if they are super tall, or even if they are like like some badass bitches or whatever, it doesn't change the fact that we're still somewhat scared.
Yeah, definitely. And at some points, I did feel like I was a little bit too much to make her feel uncomfortable. But no, she was open with me too. I mean, she didn't really confess to say like, I like it when you put your arm at a good distance around me so people don't touch me. We never had that conversation, but through our genuine conversations of just talking, she was open up to me, and I'm like, okay, I don't think I was too much, But yeah, like I said, with that situation, if that would have happened with you and I, like we were going to a crowd, what would you think? Do you think if you were even single or taken, do you think that I'm a little too much?
I mean, personally, for me, I just don't like people in general being too close to me, but I'm pretty good at like pushing people out of the way. So I feel like if you were behind me, it's all good, but like kind of being like this or going like this, I think it's a little bit too much. But that's just based on my preferences. Yeah. Because I don't really feel comfortable with anybody doing that besides unless they're my boyfriend, because my boyfriend is different, and then but having a person who's there to protect me is still a nice feeling, just like making sure like nobody's touching me. But I feel like I don't think it would be necessary until you can see physically like that person's getting too close.
Yeah. I also have the notions to kind of like tap onto people's backs to be like, hey, we're coming through, just to, even like if somebody's oblivious to have to run into somebody, like if you were to, if somebody were to be walking through and it's a tight squeeze, sometimes I would just like tap on your back, okay, watch out for your right and all that too. But yeah, like I don't know what that is. It's just that built-in gentleman of me, or just I just don't want to see any of my people around me like taking advantage of that shit. So
but yeah, it's not a good feeling. I feel like a lot of girls like they go out in girl groups, but I can tell like most girls are more comfortable when they have like at least one or two guy friends in their group, knowing that they'll be there to protect them and keep them safe. Because obviously, even if it's just Sheboygan's a very small city, but that doesn't change the fact that sexual assault happens.
Yeah. I mean, for some example, so the night that you went out with, Nuku, Nikki, Ari, saying all their names. I think you went with Ari. I don't know, but I think with Ali too. I don't know. But when you went out with them that one night,
that one night it was just me, Nuku, Nikki, Ivy, and Molly.
Okay, yeah, and then if I were to be there, do you feel like you have to make me participate?
Well,
like give me some attention, because for me, like I genuinely don't give a shit. If you want to talk to me, we can talk, but like I still gotta see around over you guys,
I mean, like just me as a person, I don't like it when anybody feels left out. So like I'll attempt to talk to you, but if I could see like that you're obviously okay with being by yourself because you're just kind of there, then I won't like go out of my ways to make you feel like you have to participate. But I probably spark up a conversation just because I want to, not because I feel like it's necessary.
Yeah. I mean, cool. Do you think you will ever get drunk with me?
Probably.
I just don't know when.
It depends because like the last time I was drunk, like I said, was a whole year ago. So I don't really go crazy like that anymore because of my acid reflux. So I just
you get the like as soon as you put like some alcohol in your mouth, you're just
yeah.
That same way, dog.
Like it doesn't matter what kind of alcohol. If it's beer, I'm good with beer. Like,
really?
I'll last up until like 7 to 8 cans. That's when I start getting buzzed.
But like, do you like beer though?
I do.
Oh, wow.
I enjoy drinking beer a lot more than I enjoy drinking liquor.
Yeah, what beer?
I really like Blue Moon.
Okay,
and
I've never tried that.
Blue Moon is very good with a slice of orange. It's very good, and obviously I hang around a lot of Hispanic people, Mexican people, so I drink Modelo and Corona, and Michelob is like it's like a go-to now in our
it's not the Bud. It's the Bud Light now.
It's the Bud Light for the older generations, but for the younger generations, they're all going for Michelob.
Oh no, I'm saying like Michelob is the Bud Light now for us.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You know, it's called Michelob, right?
Oh really? Everybody keeps saying Michelob
because they can't read.
It's like Michelob, where everybody just says ultras.
Yeah.
So
I still call it Michelob. Michelob is fun. I think.
Yeah, I think it's a fun name. Why would it be? What is it? Michelob.
Michelob.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know. But my friend
was. There ain't no damn B in it.
There's a B.
There's a B?
I have a can here. Hold up.
What the fuck? Ain't no damn way. Bro, that just looks like another old me.
It's a B.
What kind of... fuck it. I'm gonna just keep calling him Michelob because Michelob
is fun to say. Michelob is fun to say.
Michelob makes me feel like I'm a fucking like dictator or something. Like, it just sounds like Michelob.
Yeah. But yeah, do you consider yourself like, how would you want to get drunk? Like, do you want to be in a controlled situation? Do you want to just like, if it's a fun time, I'll have it,
If I was to ever get drunk, most likely my man is going to be with me. Just because
of course,
having that kind of person around you, for a fact that they're going to take care of you.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to get crazy and out of control, it just makes me feel more comfortable that I have that kind of person around me. So if I ever were to get drunk ever again, it would be him with me.
Oh, that's good.
And I would like to be in an environment where there's nobody around me that makes me feel uncomfortable, because there are certain people in our city that makes me feel awkward and uncomfortable, and being around them would just make me feel like I can't get drunk, because I have to be aware of those kinds of people around me. Like, because even if my boyfriend was with me, like, there are gonna be a time where I can't go to the bathroom with him.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to leave me for a split second to go to the bathroom. But within that split second of him going to the bathroom, so much things could happen, So I would rather and I would prefer not to be around people that make me feel uncomfortable or has given me that weird sense of vibe that they're gonna do something to me.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't necessarily get drunk at a bar though.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
I know that people like getting drunk at a bar, but I feel like that's just way too much. Like having so many people around you, not sure if you're in a secure place or not even knowing if your friends are still with you, because there are some friends that tend to leave to go to like different bars and everything like that, so I would never get drunk at a bar. It would probably be at like a house party, but not just like a random person's house party. It has to be like a close friend. Like if it was like you and Niku's place, or like at my grandma's place, or like at my boyfriend's place, or his cousin's place, then that's a place where I could get drunk, because I know that I'm in a safe environment.
Yeah, just to ask, do you think do you trust Nuku and I and her sisters enough for you to like get drunk with us at our apartment?
I do trust you guys a lot. Okay. I feel like the times that I've known you guys and spent time with you guys have never made me feel like I shouldn't be able to trust you guys. So I do trust you guys enough to get drunk, but I'm never gonna get drunk like that though.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, because so many people want me drunk for some reason, but all these motherfuckers that want me drunk, I just can't do it, even if it's a situation that like I'm at my home, it's comfortable as hell, I just can't do it, because it's I don't want to
the
do
mindset that you have now.
It's the idea of like I don't want to get drunk at a bar, and I don't want to get drunk at home because I'm a host because it's my home. But even at a friend's house, I don't want to be that person to ruin the party. But yeah, it's that sense of the idea, But it's the opportunity just has to be there. I don't know like how I would want it because this, like I said, I don't really can see myself doing that. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to ask you that too, just because like I know some people want to get drunk with me or don't know what they would want into getting drunk. I mean, nobody asked to get drunk either, It's just it's just a thought to have, just so you can build yourself up to see what you would really want.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I get what you mean too. I feel like if I was hosting a party, it'd be kind of like you don't want to be out because this is your place, your party. So if you're out and everybody's doing their own thing, it's kind of like what's actually happening out there, And things could be taken, things could be broken, and it's crazy. So I think it's just like if one of the hosts is gonna get like flabbergasted, like fucking fucked up and shit like that, at least one person has to be like, you know what, I'm gonna drink, but I'm gonna still be like, I'm not gonna get fucked up, I think it's just the way that it should be.
Yeah.
If like both of them are like, we're not gonna get fucked up, then okay, But if one was like, oh, I'm gonna get fucked up, like the other person should at least have the decency to be responsible and be like, yeah, I'm not gonna get drunk.
Yeah. That's why I kind of like the way that I think about it now, because like NuNu wants to be the person to, to go out and experience all these experiences. I just like to be the person to just chill and just watch out for people, and I think we have that good balance. I let her do her, have as much fun as you want. I just got to make sure that you're doing all right and the people around you are doing all right. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my man likes to go out.
Yeah.
He likes to go out. But like if there were situations where I can't go out with him or he can't go out with me, he would prefer it if I was with somebody who would be able to take care of me. Like if anything was to happen, like whether it was my brother or a person that like he knows that I can solemnly trust, then that makes him feel more comfortable if he wasn't able to be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are days where he just wants to chill too, but there are some days where we do go out and have our fun.
Yeah. So after this, you're gonna go do the practice onto the dance routine, right? Are you planning to just go to the house right away, or to apartment with me? Because it's 4:15.
Well, yeah, because NuNu said
NuNu was out at 4:30.
Oh, she said at 5. Okay. So I probably just be like, hey.
Yeah, you can just chill with us. You want to know what I'm making?
What are you making?
Korean hot pot.
I knew it was gonna be something good. I felt it in my with my butt cheeks, bro.
Dude, NuNu was having she was kind of having a bad day today, and I had to work yesterday and then like the whole weekend, 12 hours, and then she said they were practicing last night, and she was so tired and so sore, and then I told her I didn't tell her that I was gonna make Korean hot pot, but I was like, you know what, just what can I do? She didn't respond to me yet, but I was like, let me just make a nice gesture for her and her sisters, but she just told me that it was just gonna be you, her, and Mina.
Oh, okay.
But sucks for E and Charlie not to come eat my hot pot. I don't know where Charlie is because I think Charlie was the reason that this started. I think he kind of sparked it, right?
Well, he did say that he wanted to dance again because I was like, you know what, it's kind of out of my system, so I'm okay. We don't ever dance again, but I do want to do it again. And Charlie's like, oh, I really want to dance again. We should bring the group back and everything like that. So, yeah, I guess it was kind of him wanting everything, but we all agreed to it though. We all do kind of still want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, that's gonna be the end of our episode, guys. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications. That way you can get updated on every time we upload. Sundays at 10 a.m. Did you want your social media plugged?
Oh, yeah. You can follow me on Instagram, yl.gg07, or just 7. And you can also follow me on my Facebook at Yayoua, YAJ space YUAM space LIS.
Oh, there we go. The full plug. Nice. Not everybody does that. Sometimes I just got to just say, hey, just go to the description. Or you can go to the description for that as well. But anyways, yeah. Thank you guys. See you next time.
Bye.